Hello everyone, welcome to Barca News. It is July 29, 2023, and Barcelona just defeated Real Madrid in what was another stateside El Clasico match. Also, it's reported that Xavi Hernandez has spoken to the club and requested a player for the right back position. And finally, I have bad news in regards to Vitor Roque. We have a lot to discuss, so let's begin. Hello everyone, welcome to the channel. My name is Mo, and before we begin with the news, just a quick reminder to make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It goes a long way in helping this channel continue to grow. Also, if you are looking for any Barcelona jerseys or merchandise, make sure you hit the kit bag. The link is down below in the description. Now, begin with the news that Barcelona just defeated Real Madrid in what is their second preseason match in Dallas, Texas, with a score of 3-0. In what was a great overall performance by the team. Now, this match was completely different than the one against Arsenal, where the team did not play well and did not seem to combine well together. And as I said in a previous video, that was expected, as that was Barcelona's first preseason match. And always when the team comes back from a long vacation, it takes it some time to get back into competitive rhythm. Well, today that was not a problem, as the Barcelona played a great match against Real Madrid in Dallas, Texas, where the team started both halves with great and beautiful football, moving the ball really well, combining well, and also triangulating the ball really well, which was a reminder of that tiki-taka style of Barcelona, which we haven't seen in quite some time. Now, both halves went the same way, where again, Barcelona started really strong, where later on ceding the ball to Real Madrid. However, if Barcelona can maintain that possession of the ball or that movement of the ball like they did in the beginning of both halves, I think that Barcelona could have a really solid season. But again, as I've said many times before, this is a brand new project. And in order for a project to function well and develop that chemistry that's required for that tiki-taka style of football, it takes some time, and it looks like time is working out, because again, Barcelona looked really well in the beginning of both halves as they played a beautiful football. Now, Barcelona's movement of the ball was not the only beautiful thing of this match. Also, the goals were absolutely spectacular. All three of them, especially the first goal, which was a brilliant planned play by Barcelona, and that goes to show that Xavi Hernandez does know what he's doing tactically. So that disproves all of the haters' comments that always say that Xavi does not know what he's doing tactically. That first goal proved all of those people wrong. Now, the second goal was also a brilliant goal by no other than Fermín López, who I said in a previous video that he had impressed not only Xavi Hernandez, but the entire training staff. And that goal was absolutely brilliant, as Fermín López buried that ball in the corner right outside of the box. Now, the third goal was also a great goal by no other than Ferran Torres, and I personally was really surprised by what Ferran Torres did, passing the ball above Courtois and finally finishing the ball in spectacular manner. And as I've always said, Ferran Torres is not a bad player. He's a really good player, but it seems to cave under the pressure of playing for Barcelona. But that goal was a brilliant goal by the player, and we're gonna have to see whether he'll be able to continue that good efforts during the preseason matches. Now, also to note, Ferran Torres' third goal, or Barcelona's third goal, which was scored by Ferran Torres, was an assist by Fermín López. So Fermín López will get to go home by having scored a goal and provided an assist against no other than Barcelona's bitter rival, Real Madrid. Now, having said all of this, I do have one important question for all the haters and all the Barcelona toxic fans. And my question is, where are all the fans that were hating on Oriol Romeu? And that is an excellent question, because there was a lot of Barcelona fans saying that the signing of Oriol Romeu was a terrible signing by Barcelona before the player had even signed his contract with the club. And I said in several videos that Oriol Romeu was going to quiet a lot of people. And that's exactly what he did today. He shut all the haters up, because it was a masterclass performance by Oriol Romeu in that pivot position, where he consistently stopped Real Madrid's shots. He interrupted several of the passes, and defensively speaking, he lived up to his nickname of La Roca, which in English means the Rock. Now, Oriol Romeu was not the only spectacular player in the midfield. Franck Kessie also had an amazing match, both defensively and offensively speaking. And I would also like to highlight the performance of Dembele, not only because he scored Barcelona's first goal, but time and time again, Dembele shows us that he is one of the most dangerous players, not only on the squad, but probably in the entire European continent, despite people always hating on him because of his streak of injuries. Now, another player that did great during the match, and he's been doing great for quite some time, it was, of course, Marc Ter Stegen, who stopped shot after shot. And if it wasn't for Ter Stegen, the scoreline could be completely different. So it looks like Ter Stegen is ready to repeat the spectacular form that he had during the previous season, because he's already stopped many shots, not only in the match against Real Madrid, but also in the match against Arsenal. Now, there were a couple of scares during this match, with both Andreas Christensen and Ilkay Gundogan being substituted early in the match. But the early reports are stating that both players have not suffered any injuries or serious injuries. Seems that both players felt some discomfort. And since it is a preseason match where there's nothing at stake or nothing on the line or nothing to be won, then Xavi Hernandez opted to substitute in both players in order to preserve them and in order to protect their health, because again, it's a preseason match and it's not worth risking the health of any player when there is nothing on the line. Now, overall, it was a spectacular performance by FC Barcelona, proving Thierry Henry's quote once again, that all of Europe fears Real Madrid and Real Madrid fears FC Barcelona, because despite Los Blancos having won their two preseason matches against AC Milan and Manchester United, and despite spending over 100 million euros so far in the summer transfer market, where Barcelona only have spent so far 3.5 million euros, Barcelona defeated Real Madrid and exposed the Madrid-based team, showing us beautiful football, which hopefully the club can maintain and even build upon. Then I think we could have a great season under Xavi Hernandez and under the new signings that Barcelona have made in order to reinforce the team. And yes, that includes Oriol Romeu, who everyone seemed to hate on him, but today he quieted many of those people, like I said he would in many of my previous videos. Well, now that we've spoken about all the good things that Barcelona did today against Real Madrid, it is the time to speak about one bad specific performance, and that's Serginho Dest, who only had a few minutes to play with the club, but nonetheless, he looked really terrible, with Vinicius Jr. embarrassing the American right back many times. Now, the reason I bring up Serginho Dest is because it seems that after the match against Arsenal and that took place in Los Angeles, California, Xavi Hernandez was not impressed at all with Serginho Dest's performance, and as a result, it's reported that the Spanish coach sat down with both Matteo Alemany and Deco and requested that Barcelona need to prioritize in signing a right back or a specialist for the right back position during this summer transfer market. Now, if Xavi said those words after the match against Arsenal, I imagine that he's only gonna reiterate his position after the terrible performance of Serginho Dest today against Real Madrid. So I have no doubt that Alemany and Deco will get to work to try to sign someone for the right back position, because it's very clear that Barcelona are in desperate need of a player. Now, as I reported previously, Barcelona have reignited their interest and have started negotiation with Real Valladolid for the signing of Ivan Fresneda, the 20-year-old right back, who's one of the most promising right backs currently in the Spanish league. However, the club do need to do some negotiations at Real Valladolid, who are requesting the 20 million euro release clause of the player, which Barcelona are not willing to pay. Now, there is the option, of course, of Cancelo. However, Cancelo would only be coming to Barcelona on a one-season loan, and it's reported that he would also cost 20 million euros between his salary and a loan fee. So it doesn't really make sense to pay 20 million euros for a player that would come only for one season, when we can pay 20 million euros for a player that can come for many, many more seasons to come. Now, it's reported that Xavi Hernandez does trust Jules Koundé in the right back position in case Barcelona cannot sign anyone. And in regards to Sergio Roberto, Xavi Hernandez has said that he does not want him to play in the right back position. He considers him more of a midfielder. But either way, Xavi does want Barcelona to sign someone for the right back position. So we're going to have to see which player Barcelona ends up signing during this summer transfer market. Now, speaking of the summer transfer market, it's reported that Franck Kessie is really close to finalizing his exit out of Barcelona. Now, it's reported that the Ivorian midfielder is not too happy with Xavi Hernandez, who made it clear to the player that the club does not count on him, and that they want to offload him during this summer transfer market. And as reported many times before, Juventus are really interested in taking Franck Kessie, but it seems that Kessie has told the club that since they want him out, that he would prefer not to go to the Serie A, that he would prefer to go to the Premier League, and then he's only going to go to the Serie A if he absolutely has to. Now, as I reported before, Juventus are really interested in taking Franck Kessie. However, Tottenham Hotspur have joined the race, and they're trying to take Franck Kessie away from Juventus. And it seems that Kessie would, again, prefer to go to the Premier League. So it seems that he could end up joining Tottenham Hotspurs over Juventus. Now, as I mentioned in previous videos, Barcelona are set to receive a huge cash injection worth around 100 million euros, which we still don't know where that money is going to come from, whether it's from a Qatari investor, a Saudi investor, or the sale of Barca Studios. But either way, it's reported that with this cash injection, Barcelona will be able to register all their contract renewals, plus their new signings, and Barcelona would also be allowed to go under the 1-to-1 rule, which would allow the club to sign players during this summer transfer market without any problems or any complications. Now, a lot of you have asked me whether Barcelona will be able to bring Vitor Roque to the club with this new cash injection, and unfortunately, the answer is no. Vitor Roque will not arrive during this summer transfer market, regardless whether Barcelona activate this economic lever or they don't. Now, the reason for this is that the agreement between Barcelona and Atlético Paranaense is for the Brazilian player to come to Barcelona in 2024. So even if Barcelona do receive the 100 million euros and have plenty of margin on their wage bill to sign players, Vitor Roque is not going to arrive in the summer, and he won't arrive until 2024. Now, we will end today's video with 3 brief updates. The first one is that Pablo Torre has reportedly suffered a knee injury while on preseason with Girona. And this is, of course, not good news for Barcelona, who loaned out Pablo Torre with the hopes that he could get as much playing time as possible in the first division of La Liga so he can continue his growth and development, and hopefully he can come back to the club a stronger player and he'd be able to fight for a spot on the first team. Now, we don't know the extent of Pablo Torre's injury, so hopefully it's not a serious one, and hopefully Pablo Torre can get back to top form, because he did score his first goal during the preseason for Girona, and Girona do have a plan for Pablo Torre where he's going to be a protagonist during this season for the Catalan club. Now, the second update is that Barcelona have made official the exit of Nico Gonzalez, who has been transferred to the Portuguese club Porto for 8.5 million euros, where Barcelona have retained a percentage of any future transfer and also a buyback clause. Now, the third and final update is that it's been revealed that with Alex Collado joining Real Betis on a free transfer, with Barcelona retaining a future of any transfers, it seems that Alex Collado has forgiven Barcelona his deferred salary that he agreed to during the pandemic. So that's a great gesture, but by another La Masia graduate. So that is it for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give me a like. Also, I would like to invite all of you to please leave a comment down below, giving me all your thoughts and opinions about all the news that I share with you. And finally, I would like to invite all of you to please subscribe to the channel so you stay current on all the latest news in regards to our beloved club, FC Barcelona. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video. And as always, Visca Barça.